have a big external fan that I put on my computer, and I have to turn it on high to keep or else it will overheat and shut down. But I'm running 2 Pentium 4 processors at 2.8 gig, which is not too shabby. So I've got pretty much horsepower, and we got it pretty much nailed to the wall for about a day to render one of these things. I guess that's
worth it?
That's a little overboard, but I guarantee you'll put a good 8 to 10 hours into it, maybe even 16. Seriously, into rendering a 3-hour show. Because I have to go through several steps. Well, first I have to load it, into the program, and then just to load a 3-hour show. Well, that's 3 hours.
Yeah.
and then to render it, it's going to take at least twice as long to render it. At least twice as long to render it as
and
it.
By the end, you got this show wasn't nearly as good as I thought it was. This isn't the one I made.
Oh, I did. I loaded a lame show. I mean, I really should have. It was my first experiment. The next thing I load will be extensively edited before it's loaded. If it's any time, like an hour, a half hour, something like that, I'm gonna, I'm gonna edit the 3-hour show down to.
Well, in your 3-hour show, I mean, you've got multiple little shows depending on who's coming in and out.
Yeah.
And
right, they could be edited
as plenty of material.
As separate little shows. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. It's been a while since I've been on.
You have to. I know you got to send somebody else now.
I'll see if I can.
Who can I have? You know what time it is? If this show started at 2 a.m., do you know what time it would be? Huh? You think? Well, let's see. Let's see now. Okay, let's see. What have we got here? Let me see. That was... I think this one's terrible, but I'm going to try it anyway. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm wrong. Which one this one is. But we're going to do it. There we go. All right, if you turn this on at 2 o'clock in the morning, guess what, boys and girls? It's 4:20. And that means it's time for the 4:20 roll. That's very odd. I hear nothing.
You're watching the 420 roll.
is Puke, and you're watching the 420 roll.
Good morning. Welcome to the Pleasure Saucer.
Always Cry Theater and Crowded Fire.
I live in Swananoa, but I go to Warren Wilson College, and there's no TV exactly where I live.
Hi, my name's Remington Steele, and you're watching the 420 Roll.
Patriot Warriors! Patriot Warriors! Patriot Warriors! Patriot Warriors! Seeing your tags on walls kept me up when I was locked down. I broke out to make that revolutionary sound. Now for all you scumbags and goons, to grind to, to ride to. For those laying low, make sure those jakes don't find you. Being locked up in a place that you want to be. But if your road leads to prison, then keep your mind free. Even if you're behind bars, freedom comes from your mind. You can be under the stars and still feel behind a cage. Life is a maze, only the strong find the end. I'm traveling through this labyrinth with a pad and a pen. My crew ain't slaves, we snap the necks of our masters. No doubt we're flipping it like 22 chapters. Cause it ain't working, no. Cause it ain't working for us. Cause it ain't working, no. Cause it ain't working for ya. We keep it Y-U-K on the East Tampa Bay. We got them cans in the back for any time we need a spray. Got them blunts rolled with them white owls and the ports, and the coolest they fill with at least 20 quarts. The powder it goes fast, 5 grams at a time. But with me and these dudes, it's going straight to the mine. Money's in our pocket all the damn time, but we don't work for crap. We just can't hold inside. We keep our hands raised when we throwing up our set. Cause we feed for Oxycontin, methadones and Percocet. We do what the heck we want, so leave us alone. And if you wanna talk crap, we're banging straight to the dome. Cause it ain't working, no. Cause it ain't working for us. Cause it ain't working, no. Cause it ain't working for ya. Authorities robbing rides like Bonnie Cloud rob banks. Only coward ass was fighting military tanks. Throw bodies and caskets, kill bomb cars and make guns. They pay for the bonds by taking wealth from citizen funds. They brainwashing the youth to stand up for the pledge. Cause it's one nation under God, but like one nation under death. There's a war that threatens our freedom, and so we need to fight it. But when they kill for oil, family members need to riot. Gather in the street, rebel with your fellow resident. Call upon Saddam to assassinate the president. It's irrelevant, the bullet, that's what's gonna kill him. See the lies in his blood when his brain starts to spill them. Cause it ain't working, no. Cause it ain't working for us. Cause it ain't working, no. Cause it ain't working for ya. Patriot Warriors.
Here we are.
And we're back.
We are back. Hi there. We have Casey Waters.
Hello.
Hey there. Were you just in town? I hope you didn't drive all the way in just to be on the Tea Party, did you?
Yes.
Did you?
I actually drove all the way in town to be on the Tea Party.
Hi.
That is
You can
right.
say hi, Judson.
Hello, Judson. Are you there?
He could be watching.
All right.
Yes. All right. Well, let me put this up. So what you seemed rather energized today.
Yeah,
I
I was mowing the grass earlier.
In the rain.
In the rain, and it was a race to finish the grass before the rain got too heavy.
And you did.
And I did. I actually finished the remaining part of the lawn, and so.
But I also know that you got in touch with the appraiser, and I think that also helped cheer you up and energize you, didn't it?
Yeah, I got in touch with the appraiser, so that made me feel good. Yeah, because I'm gonna drop off the plans tomorrow, to the appraiser for the house. So that's gonna, hopefully all work out, with the construction loan and everything.
Right. For the building of the Casey Waters Meteorological Observatory.
Yup, I'll be building my Casey Waters Meteorological Observatory and my new home in Bat Cave. And I might move in as soon as October. We'll see what happens. And contractor said he was going to try to get the permit for all of this. He was going to apply for it next week because he had to go off to Florida this weekend. Anyway, so that's all. It seems to be, everything seems to be coming into place with that, so that's great. And what kind of tea do we have here?
Well,
Looks a little dark.
it is. It's a bit dark. I'll give you a smidgen of both. There, you'll
Mixture.
probably want a sugar cube in it, and
Yeah.
the first one was this. I mixed two. The first one was that, and I found that stuff to be
Backwards.
quite yummy. And a box of it has lasted me a good long time.
All right. Well, that's good.
I don't know what I'll do when it gets gone. And you're going with have you tried the brown sugar cubes before?
Yeah.
Okay. So you already know about the potential sludge factor.
Yeah. That they do break up and leave residue. Now we were discussing
About them
the
oiling out.
cleaning. How did they come clean after the sludge? Yeah, that's what I figured. It's no big deal. They'll come clean. Yeah. But anyway, so I'm working on the next show. I'm gonna be filming on Saturday, continuing on with Reality and Subjectivity by David R. Hawkins, MD, PhD. And so that's what's going to be going on with the show. It should be pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
you probably need to store that some more. It takes a while to break that down. I can see the oil's beginning to float to the top there.
There's a little bit of oil. Maybe that comes from the molasses, I guess.
I don't know. I just know these things will
Oil
out on you. I know that. They don't crystallize too well. See, I can see more oil.
There's more oil coming up, and there's still some residue, but it's on the bottom, but it's mostly broken up.
Isn't that something?
And maybe even a little bit of particulate, but this is natural sugar, so I guess.
Oh yeah, I'm not complaining about it.
You get all sorts of.
I think it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, the different components in it. Sure. All right.
So you didn't have to come turn in a show or anything like that.
No, I literally came all the way down to town just for the tea party because we were watching it during the news, and you had. Oh, it looks like they're all gone. No, they're not. It looks like you had Kurt on here earlier, and you're talking to Kurt, and then Kurt left, and I figured, well, I better come down.
We're right on top of the mountain.
Oh yeah, that's probably doesn't sound very nice.
Is there only one left? No,
There's a couple in there.
Not a lot. We about finished these things off. Yeah, we had Kurt on, and Kurt abandoned me.
Yeah, I figured he had work to do.
Yeah, something.
And I thought, well, and you're stuck alone, so I figured you might as well come in and help you out. I was getting ready to give the dog a bath otherwise.
Oh, well, any excuse to keep from giving the dog a bath, we should do.
Yeah, so, but anyway, the book's really interesting. One of the big things about it is it says, as far as, everybody always makes comparisons and says, this is better than this because of this reason. And a lot of times what it is that might be true if you look at it strictly in a simplified sense. But if you take into account the complicated context, the complicated surrounding situations, often it might not be as bad as you think. And same with assigning fault to a certain situation. You might say, well, this person is responsible for this event. But if you look at all the causes that cause this person to do something, whether it be an accident or a decision or whatever, if it's an accident, there might be like mitigating conditions. Let's say it's on the road, like the weather and distractions and whatnot, right? Or construction zones and etc. If it's a decision, well, a lot of times when a person makes a decision, it's not all their decision per se, in the sense that they are influenced by other people who are making recommendations to them, perhaps to influence their situation. And a lot of times that's left out when the simple analysis is given. And so what problems the author was saying is using the simplified logic is you oversimplify things and then you create undue conflict. And what the author said basically is, since everything is so complicated, that in a sense there's no real cause of anything, or the cause is the universe at large at the present time or whatever. And instead of saying the cause is so this person doing a certain thing, it's always, when you look at it, it always gets much more complicated,
So he's just saying that cause and effect is just not it's not as simple as quite all that.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot, there's societal issues and stuff like that. And he also said, same with projecting things into the past, like saying slavery's wrong. Well, it's wrong today, but if you look at old-fashioned morals and old-fashioned standards and old-fashioned conditions of living, it's still wrong then, but in some cases maybe not as wrong. And you add in cultural influences and blah, 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 blah. Or at least according to the author. And so it's all I don't know, it's all very interesting. But anyway, and I guess he was mainly giving that example in the sense of saying you can't have the future generation be held accountable for what past generations have done. That was his big beef, was making this argument in saying, that, slavery was a, quote, cultural condition in some degrees, and a condition of the times, that it operated under, and so on and so on. But of course, I'm sure a lot of people at the time thought it was wrong too, of course, obviously. And there's always this underlying conflict, but when you project that to modern times and you look at modern wars and stuff like that, you see that there's still underlying conflict there. Even though we might be at war with Iraq, of course, it's an unpopular war, for example, and so on and so on. But yet somehow the prevailing powers at B are getting away with it. Anyway. And so I'm trying to think what else is going on. I guess not a whole lot. I'm just working on this book.
Well, that's what I'm thinking about, is that the things like the war in Iraq that may be in an unpopular war. But I'm wondering, how does the rest of the world, how does Iraq look at it, as a matter of fact? I'm sure it's not very popular there either.
Sure.
But I'm wondering if they are, how do they hold the American people in general accountable? I mean, I've not heard, but do they hold the American people accountable, even though, I mean, are they aware that it is not popular with the American people? With some of the American people, it may be very popular with some of the American people. Some of the American people may think it's just the thing. Oh boy, we have Jonathan is going to come in here and demonstrate the use of a little Sony camera, right?
No.
No.
I'm just joining you and doing what I'm having to do at the same time.
Oh, you have to check it in. Are you checking it in, or
No.
No, you're editing. Or, no, what do you have to do?
I'm striping tapes
Oh. Well,
okay.
That's easily enough done.
because I had.
Grab your cup over there, all the way over there.
On the box, yeah.
Yes, you see they're sitting out. Grab
Because I
one.
had an encounter of the strange kind last night.
Oh, really?
Not that strange, I guess.
Huh.
Although technically, I think insects are aliens anyway. So maybe
If you would,
Yeah.
if you would pour this in your cup.
I will.
And here, even just stick your cup over here, would you?
Yeah, John
I'm
can
gonna
get it
give you a
going.
mix. Easy now.
Yeah. We're talking about with one of those
But you're not done yet.
cicadas.
Hang on.
Yeah. Are you guys? Is there?
Have you seen them?
Yeah, there's an invasion of them.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I mean literally. And they this is I think they call them periodical cicadas, or the 4-year cicadas.
17.
No, that's the other kind. There's
Okay.
17,
So this is
and
not
then
the 17.
This is not the 17. The 17-year kind come out every August, and even though they're in the ground for 17 years, they come out every year. They don't sync up with one another in mass swarms. You know, they have a little swarm every year. The 4-year kind sync up with each other, so they all come out all at once in a mass swarm. I think it's every 4 years. I'm pretty sure. And those are the kind with the red eyes, and the 4-year kind are out now.
Which
The
ones?
red eyes.
The red eye
Didn't you
guys.
What color are the eyes on yours?
I think they're red.
Okay.
But I looked online because I thought they were.
This
Now,
is
I'll
a
be back.
this
I'll be
is
right
a
back.
year.
That's what
This
I
is
checked.
a year for a 17-year-old brood. But you say
The 17 years come out every year.
okay.
But the 4-year ones come out only every 4 years, so they swarm, and they're out now, and so
Which ones are the green ones? The bright green ones.
The bright green ones are the 17-year ones.
Those are the ones I want to see. The bright green ones that one year there were so many of them, they were everywhere. I mean, you couldn't walk for crunching them.
Well, I think what it is, maybe in some years they do come out more, I guess, than others,
some
but
sugar.
they are in fact out every year because I always see them, and in fact hear them. The green ones are much noisier, and they're out.
Those
in
are the
August.
ones I want. I want the noisy green ones
And these
with
ones
the-
are less noisy,
with
but
the Ray-Bans.
yeah.
Blue blockers, right?
And actually, there's these wasps, and I seen one. I only saw one in an insect book when I was a little kid. They're called cicada killers, or cicada killers, however you pronounce it. And these cicada killers are these giant wasps. They look like a large yellow jacket, except they're longer in their body. And one lived in her yard in Fairview in a burrow. And I was mowing the grass, and I saw it shoot out. You know, I scared it out. And it didn't have a cicada with it, but what they do is they go up in the trees and they sting a cicada, but of course the cicada is so huge that it literally could barely carry it down, and so it kind of has to basically glide down, do a slow descent, and so I guess it picks one that's high enough in the tree and close enough where it could get to the burrow in one flight, and then it would try to get into its burrow and then feed its young. I guess it lays eggs on the cicada, and the young larvae feed off of it or whatever, and so on
But
and so on.
you didn't see one get a cicada.
No, I didn't actually see it get it. I saw it leave the burrow because I
hard.
scared it.
I don't think it'd be hard to get a cicada. I don't know if you've noticed, they're not very smart animals. Like, I'm amazed that they have survived evolution this long, because they are really...
Sheer numbers.
It must be it, because, I mean, they are... literally, you can go up and flick them, and they go, oh, and they just lay on their side, and they're like...
Yeah, these.
It takes them 20 minutes just to get back up. I don't think they can fly. I've never seen them do anything.
No, they can fly, but they're not that good. They could fly. They could fly like maybe 20, 30 feet or something.
I think a chicken can fly further than a cicada.
You're probably
well,
right.
I don't know about that.
Maybe a penguin can too.
Yeah, they can.
No, but you got to understand that these animals live to copulate.
Right.
You know, they if I understand correctly,
that's all they come out for.
Exactly.
They spend 4 to 17 years in the ground as a worm or something, and
as a grub,
and then they come out and live how long? Like a couple of days or something.
Couple of days to a couple of weeks,
during
probably.
During which time they copulate, and that's pretty much the end of that.
And that's what the sound is, right? Isn't that what that when they're
making
noise?
The
that's
buzzing
digital
noise.
communication.
No, that's they're calling out to each other.
Okay.
That's their mating call. It's the sound you hear.
Well, it's digital. What it is it's their bank account, their credit card numbers.
Is that their ID chip or whatever?
Yeah, it's their IDs and stuff like that. They're checking out each other's bank accounts. The girl cicadas, the guy with the biggest bank account, they're after, because they're some kind of digital communication. I don't know what it is, but I know this. I know digital communication when I hear it.
And it sounds like it could be digital.
Have you ever taken a single cicada and just sat in the house and with a cicada and listened to it?
No.
No. And have you ever taken a probe have you ever heard a digital communication line? What digital serial digital signals?
I don't know. I mean, was that would a fax qualify? I mean, is that
sort of? Yeah, it's like
right.
Yeah, right. So they make the same noise. Believe me, the racket coming out of a cicada is digital. They are digital bugs.
It's very weird because it comes on in little pops. If you listen to it, it's a
little digital packets.
Digital packets, little pops. It comes out in a long series of pops, kind of like a long rattling sound, and it usually starts off loud or starts off soft, and they quickly build to a loud noise, and then they slowly taper off. These are the ones out in August.
See, I didn't hear them, and it was weird that I saw them because I was just doing my laundry, which entails me going outside and then going down to my basement.
Yeah.
And I'm walking by for the very first time, and I just see kind of like two objects, and I thought were like two beetles, getting it on. So, obviously I didn't pay much attention to it. So, as I go down and do my laundry, I come back, I go to switch loads, and I notice it's huge now. It's full on, like, out of its shell. And I'm like,
oh, yeah, it's hatching.
Like, oh, wow. And he was coming out of his exoskeleton there.
Oh, yeah. I see the things is this year I saw him doing that a bunch, too.
Well, see, then I go to do the next load, and there's, like, instead of just one, there's about 5 or 6 of them on my porch. And then I switched to the next load, and now instead of 5 or 6, there's like 30 or 40 of them on my porch.
Oh, wow.
And they're crawling, like dragging their little scaly, shelly bodies like across the concrete. Like I was standing outside, you could hear them scraping. Like they weren't like doing the thing.
Oh, they were crawling.
You could hear them like
scraping.
It was like,
oh, wow.
And they're like dragging across the concrete. It was really, it made me,
wow.
It took me a while to go to sleep. I'll put it that way, because I was definitely like, I
Yo.
felt like there was bugs all over me after that.
I think you just come in the house or whatever, and you wake up and they're all over you.
And it's funny. And I called a friend of mine, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, well, I might be in the beginning of a really bad horror flick. I can't tell, but I'm taking out the camera. So if there's nothing but bones and a video camera left of me tomorrow, check the tape. So I literally spent 6 hours. I was up way too late last night, but I started videoing them molting.
Oh, you filmed it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Good for you. I probably should have done the same.
I know. Well, if we've got some around, show them to me. And well, you've got a camera. I've got a camera, but let's do it.
We could film some ourselves.
Let's do it.
Well, see, my problem was I didn't have the right camera. I was hoping. Normally, I've played a little bit with the time lapse or interval recordings on the PD-170s or the X10s because they have that function.
Oh.
You know, I can record for like half a second, like every 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. You know, and that way you can record a very long period of time on one videotape.
Right.
Well, I didn't have that. I had one of the little HD cams, so I'm just burning through tapes, man. I burned 6 tapes last night.
You just filming regular speed?
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
So there was no other way I could do it. No, I've got plenty of tapes, but it was a pain in the butt to have to keep going out there every 45 minutes to change the tapes.
Tape. I see
so
what
I
you're
was
saying.
I was up till 5 in the morning last night taping molting cicadas.
Oh, wait, I bet you got some good footage.
I'm encoding it right now on a hard drive. It's some pretty. They're weird looking when they first come out, man. They're like snow white.
Oh yeah, that's
and they
right.
got 2 black spots on their neck.
Good morning. Welcome to the Pleasure Saucer.
Always try theater at a crowded 5.
Like like a tarantula.
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
if you had a tarantula. Oh, or a chameleon.
Some sort of yeah.
One of those old world chameleons would eat them up. Oh, they would have a field day.
Yeah, it would have been an all-you-can-eat buffet for a chameleon or a lizard of some sort.
Oh yeah.
Definitely an all-you-can-eat.
Or even like some small snakes can still.
Oh yeah, small snakes would love them. Sure.
But
so how's your tea?
It's good.
Is it a little bitter or is it over?
2 of them brown sugars in there would do all right.
Oh, okay.
All right. So we go. We're approaching the end here. I see you got a little.
Happy Cicada Thursday. I didn't know they were coming out this year.
Yeah, happy Cicada Thursday. And it also seems like cicada years are election years. So my conclusion was
that they run things.
No, the grubs. It's an analogy to politics and politicians. The grubs go in the earth, they're the politicians. They just sap off us, the trees. They don't do too much.
Right.
And then every 4 years they come out and they make a lot of noise because it's election season.
That is brilliant. I have to bow down to that one. I think that's our scientific theory for the day for sure.
I'm almost thinking they might actually did it on purpose to coincide.
Yeah, well, that's what I tell you. Casey Waters is a lot smarter than a lot of people give him credit for.
That's brilliant, man. That is brilliant.
Everyone will
come out. They make a lot of
noise.